Okay, afternoon challenge time now. So have a look at the picture. I've added the things that we've talked about. Can you shout out 2 or 3 words of something new that you've learnt this week so far and last week? Go on, what did you learn? Okay, yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, nostrils, I heard you shout that. Iris, yes, and the pupil. Right, so we've talked about the senses, how senses send all these messages to our brains to warn us and to keep us safe and to tell us about things that are going on around our body. And what's the sense to do with the eyes? Can you remember? It's sight, isn't it? It's how you see. What about the nose? Yeah, it's to do with smell. Do you smell? I think so. Right, we're going to go on to one of the other senses today. We're going to go on to something to do with the body part that you have on the side of your head here. So what will come here? Yeah, your ears. And what sense will your ears be to do with? Hearing. Okay, so let's see what we can find out about the ears. Now, the BBC have started making all these lessons and things for you to do at home. And this week, they've put something about the senses. And so there's a link below that's got some things about how we hear. And there's a diagram of all the parts that are inside your ear. And it tells you what the parts are. So if you have a look at that now, so if you pause this bit, go and watch the little videos and have a look. There's also a quiz. You can do that quiz. You'll find out quite a bit about the ear. And then, once you've done that, come back here and we'll have a little explore a bit further. But it's good. And actually, we've already done sight, haven't we? And smell. They've got some of those on there too. So you can have a look at those if you want to. So what did you learn from that website? It's a good video, isn't it? I like the picture, the diagram with all the different words on, the science words. And look, earwax, a bit like bogies, they all have a function, don't they? So even though it's a bit gooey and gross, it does have a job to do. And again, the hearing, it sends those messages to our brain. So that's all our senses, they all seem to send, don't they, messages to our brain to tell us information. Right, shall we put the ears now on our picture? So we've got 2 of those, haven't we, on the side of our head. One over here, one over here. Do you know what you call the bottom part of your ear? It's the earlobe. And then I've learned from watching the video and looking at the diagrams and things that this part of the ear, that's labelled ear, but it's also the outer ear, isn't it? Yeah? Oh. So I've written that there. Okay, something that you could do at home. I've had a look, but I haven't really got anything in here at all. If you've got like a toy drum at home, you could put some rice over the top, and then if you beat the drum and see what happens to the rice, okay? Or if you've got a balloon, you could stretch the balloon over a container, then put some rice on or something very small, and then beat the top of the balloon and see what happens to the grains of rice. If you can do that, try that now and pause. Okay, so if you've done that, that's kind of like when the sound waves are travelling and going and vibrate. Can you see the rice vibrating on top? So that's kind of what's going on inside your ear when you hear those sounds, when the sound waves go in and then vibrate on the eardrum and they send their messages. That's what's going on inside your ear. It'll be going on inside your ear now because you're listening to me speak. I can hear the clock, so there'll be some kind of sound waves going through my ear and vibrating so that I understand when the messages get to my brain that I can hear the clock ticking. So that's one thing you could do. So another challenge you could do this afternoon, you scientists, can you find out the answer to this? What happens to a sound the further away you are from it? So if you made a sound next to somebody now, and then you went further away and made the same sound, further away than that and made the same sound, what do you think happens? How does that person hear your sound? So why don't you investigate that? Why don't you try making sounds for your family at different distances, and then they try doing it back to you? What do you do? What can you find out? Pause, go and do that if you want. So if you did do that, did you notice, well, shout at me, what did you find out? Okay, so did you notice that the sound gets fainter, it gets harder to hear the further away you are? So if you want someone to hear it, you've got to make the sound louder, haven't you? So you could do that with your hands. How do you make sounds louder? What do you do? If I was doing a soft sound and then a louder sound, what do you have to do? So there's an investigation. Can you go around your house? How can you make things sound really quiet? And how can you make them louder? What do you have to do to them? So you can go and try that one if you want. Alright? Yeah, so if you've done that, did you notice anything? Yeah, did you have to strike something harder to make the sound much louder? Yeah, okay. Later on I'm going to go on a sensory walk, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to listen very carefully to see what signs of nature and what's going on outside, to see if I can hear things. And actually, I wonder on my walk how loud the sounds will be, if I'll be able to notice how far away the things are that are making the sounds are, if I'll be able to tell by using all my messages that are being sent up to my brain. Right? And now, last thing we're going to do, I'm going to play some sounds. I want you to see if you can guess what they are. Okay? So, once you hear the sound, shout it back at me. So I've got a sound effect CD, and I'm going to play some of those sounds. So listen to the sounds. The sounds will travel down through your ear canal, vibrate on your eardrum, and go through those 3 tiny bones. Who knew you had ear bones, eh? And then you'll be able to detect what the sound is, hopefully. So are you ready to guess? Let's see what the first sound is. So, what did you think that sounded like? Come on, shout out, yes? Right, it could sound like a motorbike, but that is a chainsaw cutting down a tree. Right, did you get that right? Right, here comes your next one. Listen carefully. Do you know what that was? I'll do it again. Have a think, what do you reckon? Shout it back to me. It's like when you shake a tambourine, you know, a bit like the jingle stick at school. Right, here comes the next one, listen carefully. Oh, not that one. Oh no, that's the battery running low sound. Right, what's that sound? Right, what did you think that one was? Yes, shout it out. It was something to do with scissors. Do you know what the person was cutting? So we're cutting quite quick, quite a lot. It was somebody cutting somebody's hair. Right, here comes the next one. Right, what did you think that was? What did that sound like? Shall we guess? Yeah, did you hear rain? Also, it was a bit stormy, I heard something else. Did you hear the thunder? Yeah. Right, next one. Do you recognise this? What's that sound like? Yeah, the doorbell. I wonder if you've got a doorbell. I don't have one. Don't know if I like this one. What did that sound like? Yeah, there's buzzy bees. Do you know where they were buzzing? They're all around their hive. Right, next one. Do you know what that was? It was a huge instrument, that one. It's a gong. If you don't know what that is, have a look at that up. With an adult, of course. Let's do one more. Alright, you ready? So, what was that sound? It was somebody's bike bell. That's something you could do around your house. You could maybe use your tablet or something, go around and record lots of different sounds, and then test them out on your family. Okay? Right, hope you learned lots about your hearing this afternoon. Take care.